Hello, you're welcome. In this video, we are going to be seeing how you can perform data entry during the course of the preparation of your charts when working with ThinkCell. So on my screen here, I can select this ThinkCell tab, then this chart, which is under elements. Then from here, I can make selection of any of these charts. So let me just select this clustered column chart and enter it here. So you can see automatically the data sheet appears here, and it is here that I can perform different kind of operations that involve my data entry, like editing this series, editing my dates, and adding as much data as I want to use here. I can also copy from an external source and paste it here. So let's say, for instance, I want to change this series 1 to Africa and series 2 to Europe. For this date, I currently have 2023 to 2025, and I want to change from 2025 to 2027. So let me change this 2023 first to 2025. And you can observe that it automatically changes the orders. So this one is now 2026 and this is 2027. That's showing us that this very data sheet also accepts formulas, just like our normal Excel sheet. Okay, so if we click on this 2026, we see that it's using a formula that's adding 1 to the B1 and same as this 2027. Now, we can try to see how this works by adding total here and then trying to sum these columns. So if we try summing these columns, you see that it actually accepts formula usage. Okay. Now, if you come to this top, you see that we have options, several of them. We can undo and redo. Okay. We can actually cut. We can copy. Now we can paste when we've copied. Okay. We can insert rows, delete selected rows, insert columns, delete selected columns. We can transpose. There are other options, several of them: bold, italicize, fill color, and also change the color of fonts. So there are so many things that we can do here. Now, let's just try one of them. So I will select this row and then come to this delete selected rows, and let's see if it works. And you see that it actually works. Now let's include a new row here. Let's call this Asia and then add some values. So I'll add 5.6 here, add 4.5, and add 8.7. So if we check our chart, you see that it actually reflects automatically. Okay. And for us to be able to go back to our sheet, we can either double click here, or we just come to this open data sheet and you find our data sheet here. One option that we have is to be able to change the values we have here. So if you look at the values we have currently, they are absolute. Now, it is possible that the analysis we want to perform, we want our values to be relative, so that in 2025, we are able to see the difference between each of these based on their relatives. Okay, so we know that we can say that this is 25% of the entire values that we have in 2025, or this is 30% of the entire values we have in 2025, as well as in 2026 and 2027, which makes it easy for us to make comparisons. So to do this, I will just select on these very values. Then here we have option for sum of absolutes. I can select sum of percentages. Okay. And you can now see that for 2025, we have in Asia as containing 26% of the entire values that we have here. Europe contains 19% and Africa contains 35%. Okay, we can see how this 2026 is also distributed as well as 2027. If we want to have both these absolute and relative together, that is the percentage and the absolute values, we can select this other option of absolute sum of percentages. So you can see we have both of them here so that we can easily make comparison depending on what we want for our analysis. Okay, and again, we still have the option to be able to change the rotation. Okay, if I change the rotation, you can see it is actually rotated 90 degrees to the left right now. This one 90 degrees to the right, and this is the horizontal. Okay, then here we can be able to select formats based on our decimals and places. So here we are using comma to separate decimals, and here we are using periods. And we can select the number of places that we want to have. So let me say I want to have 2 places. You can see I'm separating to have 2 places, but separating with commas. And I can actually perform the separation with periods. Okay. So if I select period now, you can see. So let me just leave the values without these decimals. And these are just some kind of operations you can perform during the course of your use of ThinkCell for chart preparation and data entry. I hope you've been able to actually find this video helpful. Please, if you have, kindly like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.